Hey creative friends, welcome to my channel. And here we are in my utility room. And the reason is because my chest freezer is down here. And we've done this amazing challenge, this 6 month of no buying meat challenge. And I had what I thought was a freezer fail, but it turned out just to be an electrical thing with the outlet. Got that all done. So this freezer's back up and running again. And I've got a couple things, a couple people who said how they like the way I label and do the food in my freezer, how I organize it. And so I thought we could take a little trip to the freezer, and I could also show you something that I bought that is hugely helpful, gives me massive peace of mind when it comes to my freezer, because I don't want to lose food again. Now I've got some food in here, not a whole lot. I'm just starting to re-put food back in here. I've got some up at my neighbor Vi, who had a big empty freezer, and when this freezer, I thought, well, the outlet failed. I could take all my food up there, which was a blessing. And I've got another upright freezer out in my carport that has, usually it's stuff that when I come home, if I'm not going to get to it real quick and I get out of the car, like frozen veggies and stuff, I don't want to have to take them to the kitchen, do all that stuff, I'll just toss them in there. So that's kind of a catch-all freezer, but I am going to show you how I package something from a store-bought package, because when I went out there to get some frozen veggies for dinner tonight, and I was thinking about what am I going to have, there was a store-bought package of pork chops that I didn't get vacuum sealed. So I'm going to do that for you. I'm going to show you how to vacuum seal the store packaging. So we'll do that. But really quick, I'm going to turn you around and show you a couple things about this freezer. Okay, so here's my freezer. I put contact paper on the top of it because it's in my utility room, and this is where we set like the laundry baskets and stuff, and it gets all scratched up. But I want to show you. I had an amazing thing, and I'll put this down in the link in my Amazon store. See that? That's a freezer alarm, and you can see I'm at negative 5.4 degrees Fahrenheit, and this is a simple one. Now you can get the ones that are you program and they come with an app and all that, but I wanted simple. So this one simply has a little button that says freezer or refrigerator. It's already set automatically to the proper degrees for the freezer or the refrigerator, and you turn it on. And what happens is if this goes above 15 degrees Fahrenheit for me, it will set off a little flashing light and a little beep beep alarm so many times every minute. So I think that's awesome. Ooh, I have it locked. You know why you lock your freezer? It's not to keep people from getting into it. It's to make sure that the lid is down tight, so it won't lock if there's something keeping the lid up. Now, because of this is where this is at, it's right under here, I have developed a keep your freezer door open system, and this is a bungee. And this bungee comes down and catches in that hole, and that's what keeps the freezer from falling on my head. Okay, just, hey, this is real. So this is my freezer, and it comes with a little probe, and this probe has a little suction cup, but it doesn't stick on very well, so I just draped it across here, and it's hanging in the center. So here in this basket, this is all bones. This helps me organize when I want to do broth, meat broth. I've got some actual bones, and I've got even celery bits and stuff like that. They all go there. Over here is all nuts and chocolate chips, and what I do is I pre-organize them in 1 cup increments, and then I vacuum seal them. So they're good for like ever. And see, here's the nuts. See, there's my pecans, and they're all in 1 cup increments, but I put the nuts, like there will be pecans. This one will say walnuts, so it's easy for me to find. Now looking down in here, I've got my little probe, but you can see everything is labeled. So if I want to look down here and say, you know what is this? Oh, it's cube steaks. Great, I can have that. So try to turn you around. Super simple. So down here, if I pull this up, I know right away that that is boneless, skinless chicken thighs, and I put it's 1 pound, 10 ounces. So I always put the weight on there as well. Over here, here is a roast that I vacuum sealed in the store-bought package. And then I will show you another thing. I'm going to pull a couple things out of here and show you how I vacuum sealed those, because it's important. And then I'll be right back. All right, I'm all set up to do the packaging of that store-bought meat, but I want to show you a couple things. First of all, one of the things that I think is so important about really labeling, and I have two Sharpie markers ready to go. The thing I think is so super important about labeling is, yeah, I probably know that those are chicken thighs, but you might think they're chicken breasts, so I don't know. So this is what I wrote: chicken thighs, 1.1 pound, 10 ounces. And it says 4BS. That stands for 4 boneless, skinless. So they're not BS chicken thighs. Here's another reason. Look at these two meats. Can you tell what they are? Nope. This is 2 cube steaks, and I love our butcher. He does these amazing cube steaks. They're big. So there's 2 cube steaks, and here is 1 pound of ground beef. I try to do those in 1 pound increments. I weigh them out. I'll buy it in bulk, like 10 pounds, and I'll weigh it out. But I want to show you guys 2 things. First of all, you can see in this beef, you can see the liquid that comes up there. It's not bad in beef, but it's really bad in chicken. So see that, and you can see here, see how it sucks up in the bag? A way to prevent that from coming out into your vacuum sealer is when you have something particularly like chicken. So you know when a store has beef in the, or meat in the containers, it has like that pad in there that absorbs the liquid. Well, you can kind of do that yourself. What I do is I put the meat in there, and then I take a paper towel and I fold it in half, and then fold it in half again and slip it in right here. And I'm going to tell you, you can see how pink that towel is. All of that liquid would have come out into my vacuum sealer, which would have been nasty. So it's a good way to catch the juices or the liquids before they come out. You can also ask your butcher for some of those pads, the absorbent pads that they usually put in store packaged meat. But now we're gonna, this is store packaged meat right here, and these are some of those awesome seasoned, these must have been on sale. Boneless ribeye chop house chops. Yummy, so good. But if I'm not going to eat them now, what I'm going to do is I measure out my bag. There's a cutter. There's actually a cutter in the top of this one. So I measure out my bag, and then I always want to leave a couple of inches. It's not waste, because if you do this, you're not going to have as much wasted food. So now what I do is I'm going to go ahead and measure this. It's going to need about this much space. So up here, I'm going to vacuum seal that, or I'm just going to seal that with about 2 inches on it. And this one has a little doodad you slip these into. But I want to make it further. So I'm going to go about that far. I think will work for the seal. And then I'm just going to give it the old manual seal. That'll take a second. Now, if you're watching our freezer meat challenge, our freezer challenge, at the end of 6 months, we're going to give away, it may not be this one, but a food saver, which will be awesome. Okay, it's about done. So now there's that tab on the end. So now I'm going to write on here and get the information off the label. I don't even have the weight on here, but I can just put down here 2 pork chops, seasoned. There. And I'm only showing you this because I've actually taken these out. They're thawed. I'm just showing you. But here's the key. If you leave it like this and you vacuum seal it, it's still going to have the air around the food because it's in there. So what you need to do, get yourself a little pokey and poke a couple of holes in there. That lets the air out. Ooh, that smells good. So when you vacuum seal it, it will actually suck the store-bought packaging down around the food. So now I'm going to pop this in here. We're going to give it a little vacuum and seal. Hit that button and here it goes. It doesn't take long either. If you're buying things in bulk, this is a good thing. And I'll show you what I mean about how it vacuum seals down on the store-bought package. It's coming. Okay, now it's sealing. And I'm going to show you how this seals around it. And this is good too because most of these store-bought meats will have that liquid catcher in there. Okay, there we have it. Nicely sealed. Store-bought packaging is not meant for long-term freezing. It's fine to take it home and have it in the next day or two, but for long-term freezing, it's not meant for that. One of the reasons I like to leave it in there is because it's got that little moisture holder. Also, because it stands nicely in the freezer, you don't have to lay it flat to get it frozen first. Now we're having this tonight. I just sacrificed a bag to show you what I was talking about. But now I'm going to be able to stand that, if I had this for my freezer, stand it in there and be able to just look and see that it's 2 pork chops seasoned, and I'll be able to take those out. So I think that knowing how to properly store food in a freezer, and I will do, this is just meat, but I will do a video maybe in the future of how to store different things. Like, yes, you can freeze eggs, and yes, you can freeze dairy, and yes, you can freeze breads. And I know people that make whole loaves of homemade bread. They freeze it, and when it thaws out, it's like brand new. But that's the way you store it properly. So I'll do another video in the future on that. This is just what I wanted to do for the meat right now. But as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.